Hey, what up, people? How's it going? This is your boy TJ for Prosper Mobile. Now, I did a tutorial on how to make kick pads, and it got really popular. I believe I have about like 1,300 hits or something on it. So I want to get a little more detailed for all these yard tards and all these other people who are wanting to know how, in fact, I made the kick pads. So, there's one guy, is like, he called himself, he's in the wrestling league. Homie, that's another word for backyard pad, but, you know, whatever. So here's the gist of all this, is that I make costumes for a living, but I am being humble and I'm being nice to all my followers, all my subscribers, and I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. So these are large martial art kick pads. Okay, this is what I use instead of boots when I wrestle. I'm not going to give you detailed measurements because you have to use your own common sense. But this is the template, the sleeve, more or less, is what you're going to need. So, mind you, if you have a small kick pad, the measurement's going to be weird. If it's extra large, it's going to be weird. So pretty much, let me get this right here. It says here, as you can see it, 22 inches. And I'm doing this with one hand. You can imagine most guys could do a lot of things with one hand, but shit, for some reason. Okay, so this is annoying. Pretty much the things you need. This is when this is folded. This is what it's going to eventually look like. Okay, so the width that I'm using for myself, because I'm using a large kick pad, the cover is going to be a total, as you can see, 14 inches wide, 22 inches from the very top to the bottom. In order how to do this, you're just going to have to just kind of wing it and come up with your own little deal to make it look like that. This is when it's folded in half. Okay, so this is what all this right here is, what all this is right here. Okay, as far as this goes, this is all I used. It's like, almost like vinyl. But that's the gist of that. I usually do a couple, so there's like two. Then this is the top part. It's all spandex right here. You can use any color you want. I just happen to use those colors for the kick pads I had that I ended up butchering so I can make this tutorial. So, as far as this goes, it all depends on what this is. If this is a large, then you're going to use the template should be about 16 inches. Okay? And how wide is whatever you want. I happen to have them kind of marked like a Japanese style thin. So mine total width would be, you see, 4 inches. Okay, this is the end result of how they're going to look. You slip these over the kick pads right there. But how to make it, you use this for the sleeve, and then all these things here is what this is. You get a little more of a cushion, a little more, bulkiness. So, before you get all weird, you need to get your measurements right. It all depends on the size of your own leg, your own width. If you have like a double X, then you're going to use just a little bit more than this, So I don't know what more I can tell you guys. I can't literally hold your hand while you make this. You're going to have to use some common sense and have sewing skills. You need one of these. If you don't have one of these, then good luck trying to hand stitch it. So that is just the thing about it. Remind you people, I make costumes for a living. I'm being very nice right now and allowing you to see on how I make my my money, my products. Few people do this, the covers and such. But I'm being nice and I'm showing you. So again, don't take that for granted and have me send you a message on detail how you're supposed to do this. You're lucky I'm even getting on here and showing you because I'm being nice. Not trying to be a prick, trying to be, mean or anything. This is how I make my living. So, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If you're wanting to do it, if you're a yard tard or whatever and don't want to spend $50 I go in the high spots, you want to make it yourself, right? This probably cost me $20, $30 to make all this stuff. Obviously, I saved about $20, but you're going to have sewing skills. You're going to have to know how to sew, and always use measurements. How I got this is I measured my leg. This is how I got what I got. So this is the closest of the tutorial as in detail I'm going to get, you know, and I'm just going to go up and play it that way, because otherwise nobody else is going to give you details like me. So here's the thing. This is what's going to end result. Your front, your back. Material is spandex or lycra. I happen to use really thick, hard spandex. This right here is like vinyl of sorts, and this is spandex. And that is what you need. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks.